Hello everyone and welcome. It's Alexandra. Today I have a fun project for you that includes a freebie. You can download the freebie in my coffee shop and the link to it will be in the description box down below. I suggest that we create together something that I decided to call a window catalog card. I have for now 6 of them pre-made so that I could show you how the final result would look like. The window catalog cards all have pretty much the same sleeves. This is how the back of each one of those cards will look like once they're done. I have customized each and every one of them so that they don't look absolutely the same, but you can see that they are rather similar, and you will have to decide where and how you add different little labels that I included for you in the freebie. Each one of the card bases comes with a pull-out tab and a card inside that looks like this. And you can also customize each one of those using the images from the freebie. I have included quite a few of them right here. So if, for example, I have 6 cards created, I needed to print this page 6 times, and this page I printed only once because it includes already so many elements that I could use. But for the base, you will need to decide how many times you need or want to print that. I prefer to work with a craft knife for this specific purpose. Let me take my self-healing mat and a ruler and that craft knife. So let's have a look first. These parts will form the sleeve itself, and we will need to cut out the window here, as well as we will need to cut out this sort of a channel for an easier sliding of the catalog card itself inside the pocket. This is the catalog card itself, and you can reinforce it with the help of this element here. I have included 2 of those because one can be used for the reinforcement of the back of the catalog card, and the second one you can use for maybe stamping something on top of it and then cutting those elements out. I, for example, created these additional labels that I used on my cards in a few places, and we are going to create some of those together as well. So I like to start by cutting out the single card first, and I cut right along the outlines of this element like that. Next, we will just use our scissors and get rid of this section close to the tab. Scissors with thin blades could work best for it. Once I have that card cut out, I will use my corner chomper and just chomp 2 of these corners which are far away from the tab. I can at the same time distress the edges of this piece just slightly. I tried to add that distressed sort of look digitally for you. I really like how it turned out. It's very subtle and it really reminds the actual look of the distress ink, the way we use it. This is what we have right now. I will put this card aside for now and we will get back to these elements here. So next, I think it would be nice to just get rid of the borders. So I am cutting the border there. Then I'm cutting the border along this edge as well. And try to line your ruler right against the border of your printed images, like that. Then here I'm going to put my ruler right against that edge and make a cut. You don't want to cut all the way through here, but you can definitely go a little bit in this corner. We are going to round those corners anyway, so it will not be a problem if you do that. Okay, so this is how it looks for now in my case. Then I also need to get rid of this section here. And once we have that done, we will also do the same along the edge of this piece. So these are our elements that we will keep on working with. This can go to trash. Now we will need to fold our piece, and I will fold it like that. I look at the edges there at the top and here on my left hand side, and I want to make sure that I do my best to keep everything even. Use your bone folder. It will help you tremendously to get everything straight. Now once you have folded that part, you will fold this section the same way, just making sure that the edges and the corners are even, and use your bone folder. Okay, now let's see. I will fold this piece inside and this piece will go on top. If you are able to fold everything so that it lays flat, you did a perfect job. If for some reason this piece doesn't lay flat on the inside once you fold this section over, what you will need to do is to trim on this edge of the piece just a sliver off the panel and check again if it all lays flat when you fold it all together. So in my case, I didn't have to trim anything. The next thing that I suggest that we do is cutting the window section out. And once again, I'm using my ruler for that purpose. I don't cut all the way to the corners. I cut about, I don't know, maybe 1/16 of an inch away from the rounded corner here on both sides. This is how it looks in the back, and that's because I could later on either use my craft knife or scissors in order to finish off that cut and really separate this piece from the frame. So let's do the same thing on the remaining sides. This piece we will later on use for stamping our additional labels. I have a piece of acetate that measures, if I'm not mistaken, 3 3 1/8 by 4 3/4. And I want to say a few words about the acetate. For this specific project, I would recommend using a thin acetate. I use the transparency films from the Staples brand, and it's quite an old item. I have checked here, it's from 2002, if we could believe that barcode there. And the thickness of it is 0.1 millimeters. This piece, as you can see, can go on top of our window, and we will have about 1/4 of an inch on each one of the 4 sides. To attach it to the paper layer, I'm going to use my art glitter glue. And here I also want to mention that you don't need a lot of glue, since it can ooze out everywhere, and this is not what we need. So I'm going to gently and lightly squeeze the bottle, and you definitely know your bottles of glue. They're like your babies. You know them better than I do, for sure. So just feel how strong you need to squeeze that bottle to get just enough glue to keep that acetate in place. Like that. You can see that I barely added the glue there, so it is a super thin line. Okay, so we have done that, and next I'm going, oh, by the way, if you want to distress the edges, of course you need to do that before adding the acetate, but I think they look pretty okay. I, by the way, printed my digis on the ivory cardstock. And the ivory cardstock that I like to use looks like that. Once you have added your acetate, you're going to fold your card again and use the corner chomper. I use the 1/4 inch side for rounding the corners. And it's easier to do it at this stage before we continue. Now I will unfold everything again and cut on 3 sides along these thin black lines. And I will get a piece that will look like that. Now I will flip it to the back and add the glue again very lightly to these paper strips. First to the long ones, and then to this shorter one on the side. Now I like to just fold it like that and make sure that I glue this shorter side first. I just use my fingers, and then it just lets the 2 longer pieces kind of fold down on their own and find their place where they need to be glued down. And you of course can help them and line them up with the edges of the paper underneath. And on this side here, the rounded corner will actually help you line everything up together. And again, burnish, and of course make sure that you are still able to fold your piece flat. So this is how it will look like at this stage. Next, you have a few options to go in. You can leave it like that and just add the glue again to the thin paper areas of this layer that we have just folded in. Or before you seal everything down, you can stamp anything you want on this area, so that when you pull your card out of the sleeve, there is a certain image behind the window right here. You can also add a notch on this edge like I did here, and I created that notch with the help of the envelope punch board. You can also use your circle punch, whatever you want. You can also leave it straight, like I have it here. If you punch the notch, you will have to punch a little bit through the acetate as well. And if it's thick, you will not be able to do that. So that's something to keep in mind, but again, you don't need to create any notches. Let's distress the edge here and maybe even add some ink to the paper in the background. Now I will take my glue and add it to the paper strips that we have folded in. Your card that you're going to put inside will go right in that designated area, so these paper strips will kind of create a channel for it to go smoothly inside the pocket. That's how the card looks once you put it inside. This paper could use some reinforcement, and I will use one of the pieces from the leftover elements that we have here. You will notice that one is smaller and one is larger, so the larger one will be used for reinforcing the back side of our card. I will get rid of the borders, and I also like to round the corners of this piece. And then I will glue it down closer to this edge that doesn't have the tab. Oh, now it feels way better, and it's more comfortable to put the card inside the sleeve. Now let's get back to the second page of the freebie. We have it right here. So for your choice, I have included 4 larger backgrounds that you can use like this on your cards, and there are a few labels that you can use for adding in the front of the windows. And then there are a few elements that you can fussy cut and combine together or use separately on your cards. Here I have one with the bird and the leaves that I have already combined and glued together so that it is easier for me to glue them down onto the card. Oh, let's make sure that we have the glue close to the edges. If it looks a little bit empty there in the background, you can also add some stamping, of course. You can use a pen and write maybe something of your own there on the labels, like that. And you can, of course, use your ink and stamps for adding more details in the background, like so. And then this whole piece can go back inside here. That's why we need to add more glue close to the edges so that the images don't lift up, and we can easily slide the card inside our pocket like that. Looks very pretty in my opinion. So now in the back you can add more labels from the ones that I have included for you, or you can stamp something additional in this area, which might look a little bit empty. So here, for example, I have stamped the word confirmed. Here I have the word original, and these ones were stamped with the help of one of these. I have this one, this alphabet stamp from Stampin' Up, and oh, I still have the word confirmed spelled here. So yeah, that's a nice tool. I think it's quite an old product, but I have checked and there are still some available on eBay if you want to get them. I have made a box for my stamp. I like to use it for such purposes. If you need like a specific word, you can easily spell out and stamp one. So let me add this tiny label here. We can just write a number, or for example, what's the date today? May 9th. For example, I will write the date without the year, but this is enough. I have a few more cards that I will complete already off camera using the elements from this page of the freebie. I want to show you how I create additional stamps using this remaining piece of paper. I love the ledger background, and for creating my stamps I will use two of these stamps right here, and I also have that script stamp. I'm going to stamp the script first. It's like some handwritten text that looks like this. I will stamp it in various directions, and we'll have something that looks like that. I think I could use a darker ink as a matter of fact, but never mind. Now I will take a red ink, and I'm using Memento in this color, and I'm going to just stamp the labels. This is what we have. Now I can just cut the labels out, or use a circle punch for the round labels. And distress the edges. And use this label. I want to, I think, glue it down right here. Cool, I like it. I think this completes our project for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing to my channel if you are still not a subscriber. In the meanwhile, I will work on another project for you, and I hope to share it with you soon. Have a great day, guys, and talk to you soon. Bye.